Hello everyone, welcome to the lecture series on computer architecture and organization. This is our sixth lecture under Unit 2 Arithmetic, and in this lecture we are going to discuss about this floating point addition and multiplication. So now we are going to discuss about this floating point addition. So the algorithm has been provided. So the algorithm starts with the start of this program. The first step in this algorithm is that we need to compare the exponents of the two numbers. So why we need to compare the exponents of the two numbers? Because the exponent may be of different range. So first, if we compare that, then we need to shift the smaller number to the right until its exponent would match the larger exponent. So we should take only the smaller exponent, and that smaller exponent should be shifted so that it should actually match with the larger exponent. And second thing is that we need to add the significance. So what is significant? Significant is nothing but the one that is added with the fraction part. So we need to add the significance. Then the third step in this algorithm is we need to normalize the sum, either shifting right and incrementing the exponent or shifting left and decrementing the exponent. Next, we need to check for the overflow or underflow. So what is the meaning of overflow and underflow? If the exponent doesn't fit in the range of 1 to 254 that is allocated by the IEEE 754 guideline, then we call this exponent as the overflow or underflow. So if the exponent falls below the range of 1 or above the range of 254, then we may term this as overflow or underflow. So if this overflow or underflow happens, what actually happens is that it goes for an exception process. So exception is a set of program that is handled separately. Then once the exception is calculated, once the exception is completed, then it again returns back to the original position in that program. Next we need to round the significant to the appropriate number of bits. So we need to round according to the number of bits. If the register fits only for the 4 bits, then we need to round the significant to the nearby 4 digits. So next we need to normalize checking. So what is normalized checking in the sense, or the one that should be placed in the left side of the decimal point. Only one digit that lies on the left half of the left side of the decimal point, and that one digit should be 1. So we need to check whether the digit that lies in the left side of the decimal point is 1 or not. If it is 1, then we say that it is normalized. If it is not so, then again it returns back to step 3, and then from the step 3 again the process continues. Then the algorithm ends. So now let us do this floating point binary addition. We are going to do the addition of the numbers, that is zero point 0.5 to the base 10 and minus 0.4375 to the base 10 in binary using the algorithm. So we are going to apply the floating point addition algorithm here. So we need to add these two numbers. So let us first look at the binary version of the two numbers in normalized scientific notation, assuming that we keep only the 4 bits of precision. Okay, so we are taking the assumption that we are keeping only the 4 bits of precision here. So 0.5 to the base 10 can be represented as 0.5 to the base 10 can be represented as 1 divided by 2. Okay, so this is 1 divided by 2. So 1 divided by 2 can be represented as 1 divided by 2 power 1. So the number of bits that should lie in the right side of the decimal point should be 1. So for this we are going to write this as 0.5 to the base 10 can be represented in binary form as 0.1 because 2 power 1. So 2 power 1 in the sense we need to take only one digit to the right of the decimal point. So this is 0.1 to the base 2, And this 0.1 in turn can be represented as 0.1 into 2 power 0. So this is not the normalized one, because if we want to keep this notation in normalized form, then what we need to do is that we need to place 1 to the left of the decimal point. So if we shift this 0.1, if we make the 0.1 to as like 1 coming to the left of the decimal point, then it should be like this, that is 1.000 into 2 raise minus 1, because we have shifted one position, we have shifted here one position, we have shifted this decimal point one position right in order to make this as the normalized one. So this is a binary shifting and binary algorithm, so we represent this in 2 rise. So 1.000 into 2 rise minus 1. So again, we need to add this minus 0.4375. So minus 0.4375 to the base 10 can be represented in fraction as minus 7 divided by 16 to the base 10. So this in turn, in terms of 2 power 4, the denominator should be written in 2 power 4. So minus 7 divided by 2 power 4. So the number of digits that lies to the right side of the decimal point should be 4, because the exponent is 4. Hence minus 7 divided by 2 power 4 can be written as, the binary value for minus 7 is 111. So we are taking only the 4-bit fraction here. So we need to make this as minus 0.0111 to the base 2. So this in terms of power 2 can be written as minus 0.0111 into 2 power 0. So this is not a normalized one. We need to shift the decimal point, and we need to take 1 to the left of the decimal point. So if we take like this, then we call this as the normalized point. So minus 0.0111, if we shift, I want to shift the decimal to 2 positions right. So I must make this to 2 rise minus 2. So now it comes to minus 1.11 into 2 power minus 2. Okay, so now we want to follow the algorithm. Okay, let me take this as step 1. I want to calculate the step 1. So step 1 is that the significant of the number with the lesser exponent is shifted right until its exponent matches the larger number. So I must, the smaller exponent is 2 rise minus 2. So I want to make this 2 rise minus 2 to 2 rise minus 1, so that these two exponents match each other. So what I must do is that this minus 1.110 into 2 power minus 2 can be written in terms of 2 rise minus 1 as minus 0.111 to the base 2 into 2 rise minus 1. Okay, now next comes the step 2. So what is step 2? We need to add the significance. So what are all the significance? Significant is one that is added with the fraction part, that is the one along with the fraction part. So here it is 1.111 1.000 to the base 2 into 2 power minus 1 into 2 power minus 1, that is the first one, okay, plus what I must add, I should add this 0.111 to the base 2 into 2 raised minus 1, okay, 0.111 into 2 power minus 1. So if I add like this, I have added these two. That is, first thing is 1.00 into 2 raised minus 1, then 0.111 into 2 raised minus 1, which is equal to 0.0001 into 2 power minus 1. Okay, so first step is that we need to convert this decimal into the fraction part. So if I convert this 0.5 in fraction part, it is half. So this is half, this is plus half, okay, so this is half. So I want to represent this in 2 power. So if I represent this as 2 power, then 1 divided by 2 power 1. It means that the true rise exponent, the number of digits must be placed in the right half of, in the right side of the decimal point, okay. So how many numbers in this exponent? Which number in the exponent? So that number of bits should lie in the right side of the decimal point. So here it is 2 power 1. So only one digit that lies to the left right of the decimal point. So it is 0.1, which is equal to 0.1 into 2 power 0. So which is equal to 1.00 into 2 raised minus 1, because we need to convert this in normalized form. What is normalized? 1, the number 1 should lie in the left half of, in the left side of the decimal point. Now again coming to the point of minus 0.4375, in fraction part it is represented as minus 7 by 16. So 16 in term can be represented as 2 power 4. It means that this number, so this number of bits should be lie in the right side of the decimal point. So 7 in terms of binary, it is 111 in terms of 4 bit. So it is represented as minus 0.0111. So if I want to make this as a normalized form, I want to take this 1 to the left of the decimal point. So this decimal point is shifted 2 positions right. So if this is shifted to 2 positions right, then we must place this as 2 raised minus 2. So now comes to the algorithm. So the first step is that we need to compare the exponent and we need to make the exponents match each other. So the lesser exponent should match with the higher exponent. So here the lesser exponent is 2 raised minus 2. I just want to make this as 2 raised minus 1. So if I want to make this as 2 raised minus 1, I want to take this decimal to the left. Okay. So if I take this to the left, then I am adding 2 power 1. So if I add this 2 power 1 with 2 power minus 2, it comes to 2 power minus 1. So this becomes 0.111 into 2 raised minus 1. For step 2, I need to add the significant. Significant in the sense what are all the things we have placed after the comparison and after the shifting point. So the significant in the sense here the significant is the first is 1.000 into 2 raised minus 1, and in the second thing it is 0.111 into 2 raised minus 1. I want to add both these things. If I add both, here it is minus, there should be one minus there. Sorry. So if I add both these things, then the answer is 0.00001 into 2 raised minus 1. So if we come to step 3, we need to normalize the sum, then checking for this overflow or underflow. Okay. So step 3 is we need to normalize the sum and checking for overflow or underflow. So we need to normalize the sum. What is the sum? It is 0.001 into 2 raised minus 1. So which is equal to I want to normalize this. So if I want to we need to normalize the sum, which is equal to, it is 0.010 to the base 2 into 2 raised minus 2. So which is equal to 0.100 to the base 2 into 2 raised minus 3. Okay. This in turn, which can also be represented as 1.000 into 2 raised minus 4. Okay, so this is 0.001. This is if I shift this, then it is 2 power minus 1. If I want to write this in 2 power minus 2, then it is 0.010 into 2 raised minus 2. Then again it is 0.100 into 2 raised minus 3, which is equal to 1.000 into 2 raised minus 4. Okay, now this comes up. This is the exponent, that is minus 4 is the exponent. So if I want to represent this exponent in bias notation, because exponents will always be represented in bias notation. So if I want to write this exponent in bias, then I must add bias value. So what is the bias value for the single precision? It is plus 127. So minus 4 plus 127 I am adding. So which gives 123, which is nothing but the plus 123. So this plus 123 lies between 1 and 254. Okay, so this obviously lies between the two ranges. So there is no overflow as well as there is no underflow. Now the step 4 according to our algorithm. So if you have any doubt, just refer to the algorithm. I am doing it directly. Round the sum. Okay, so step 4 is we need to round the sum. So what is the sum we have actually got in step 3? It is 1.000 into 2 raised minus 4. Okay, so the sum already fits exactly in the 4 bit, so there is no change to the bits due to rounding. Actually we have in the first point itself I have mentioned that in order to we are assuming that we are taking only the 4 bits, so the sum already fits, that is 1.000 into 2 raised minus 4. So we need not to do anything, we need not to do any changes here. So what I must do is that it already fits 4 bits, so there is no change to the bits due to rounding. So this sum will be then, which is equal to, if I take this 2 raised minus 4, then I can directly write this as 0.0001000, okay, to the base 10, which can be represented as 0.0001 to the base 2. So which this can be represented as 0. This can be represented in terms of 2 power. So how shall we represent this? Which is equal to 1 divided by 2 power 4, because 4 bits, 1 2 3 4, 4 bits right lies to the right of the decimal point. So this is 1 divided by 2 power 4. So which is equal to 1 divided by 16 to the base 10, which in turn can be represented as 0.0625 to the base 10. So this sum is what we would expect from adding 0.5 to the base 10 to minus 0.4375 to the base 10. Okay, so hope you have got this algorithm. So let me recall this floating point addition. We are going to add the two numbers, that is adding, we are going to add 0.5 to the base 10 and minus 0.4375 to the base 10. The first step is that we need to convert this decimal into fractions. So 0.5 is converted to half, that is 1 by 2 in fraction. So this 2 should be written in terms of power. So 1 divided by 2 power 1. Why we need to write this in terms of power? Because we need to calculate how many digits that lies to the right of the decimal point. So since this is 2 power 1, we need to represent one digit to the right of the decimal point. So this is 0.1, which is equal to 0.1 into 2 power 0. So this is not a normalized one. If I want to make this normalized, then 1 should come before the decimal point. So if I shift this point to the right side to one position, then I must replace the 0 with minus 1. So if I shift right, the exponent goes in minus 1. If I shift to the left, then the exponent goes in plus term. So this is 1.000 into 2 raised minus 1. And here it is minus 0.4375, which in term fraction, we can write this as 7 by 16. So denominator should be written in 2 power. So minus 7 divided by 2 power 4. So the exponent tells how many digits should lies in the right side of the decimal point. So here it is 4. Hence it is minus 0.0111. So which in turn can be represented as minus 0.0111 into 2 power 0, making this a normalized one, which is equal to minus 1.11 into 2 raised minus 2. So step 1 is that in the algorithm, we need to compare both this exponent. So the smaller exponent should be shifted accordingly in order to match the larger exponent. If we compare this two exponent, 2 raised minus 1 and 2 raised minus 2, then minus 2 is smaller than minus 1. Hence we need to make this minus 2 matching to minus 1. So if I want to make this minus 1, I need to add plus 1 here. So adding plus 1 shifts the decimal to the left of the left in the position. So minus 1.110 into 2 raised minus 2, which is equal to minus 0.111 into 2 raised minus 1. And step 2 is that we need to add the significand. Actually, what the meaning of significand is that the one that is added with the fraction part is the significand, that is mentioned by IEEE 754. But what we are mentioning here as significant is that the bits that are shifted, the bits that are matched with the exponent. Okay, so here the significance are 1.000 into 2 raised minus 1, and it is 0.111 into 2 raised minus 1. The one minus sign is here. So if we add both these things, then we get 0.0001 into 2 raised minus 1. So the step 3 is that we need to make this the normalize the sum, because once we normalize the sum, then only we can check whether it is overflow or underflow. So the sum is getting normalized in step 3. So the sum is 0.001 into 2 raised minus 1. If I want to shift, if I want to make this 1, 2, if I want to make this 1 to the left of the decimal point, then I must shift. Okay, already it is minus 1. I want to shift 3 positions to the right. So if I add 3, then it becomes minus 4. Okay, 2 raised minus 1 already here. So this is 2 raised minus 2, and this is 2 raised minus 3, and this is 2 raised minus 4. Okay, so 1.000 into 2 raised minus 4. So now I must represent this exponent in bias notation. So bias notation, we need to add plus 127 to the actual exponent that we have got through the sum. So here it is minus 4 and the bias is plus 127. If we add, then we get that is plus 123. This plus 123 obviously lies within the range of 1 and 254. This 1 and 254 is meant only for the floating point representation. So there is no disturbance in representing this minus 4. So we can represent this plus 123 binary value as the exponent in the registers. So this is the normalized sum. Okay, and next is that we need to normalize, the sum is normalized here, as well as we have checked for this overflow and underflow. Okay, so in this step we need to check for overflow or underflow. So here there is no overflow and underflow. Okay, so now we need to go for rounding the sum. So rounding the sum in the sense we have to round the sum according to the number of bits we are like we have been allocated by the registers. So we are here we have taken only 4 bits. So already the sum fits to the 4 bits. So we need not to do for the rounding. So we can directly represent this as 1.000 into 2 raised minus 4. So which can be written as 0.0001000 to the base 2, and this 0 takes any doesn't take any value, so we can omit this, or we can say that it is the bits are meant, the registers are meant only for the 4 bits, hence we can take 0.0001. So which is equal to, we need to represent this, if I represent this in 2 power, then 1 divided by 2 power 4, because 4 digits lies to the right of the decimal point. So 1 divided by 2 power 4, which is equal to 1 divided by 16, which is equal to 0.0625. So this is the actual sum which we need to get by adding 0.5 to the base 10 and minus 0.4375 to the base 10. So the addition has been performed and the result has been obtained by applying this floating point algorithm. Okay. And if we come for this floating point instructions in MIPS, so the floating point instructions in MIPS, it takes it has two parts. One is for the single precision and another one is for the double precision. Okay, so for single precision it is mentioned as S, and for double precision the variables are represented as D. If you see here for floating point addition, for single precision it is single add dot S. It is single add and a variable is S, and addition double, the variable is D. Similarly for its subtraction, for multiplication, for division as well as comparison. So comparison is meant in order to check whether both equal or not, or less than or greater than or greater than or equal. And next is floating point branch instructions. So the branch tells whether if it is true, then the one condition executed, and if it is false, then another set of condition executed. Okay, and this algorithm is similar to this floating point addition. This multiplication algorithm is similar to the floating point addition. So the algorithm starts with star. Then the first step in this algorithm is that we need to add the biased exponents of the two numbers, subtracting the bias from the sum to get the new biased exponent. And second thing is that we need to multiply the significance. And the third step is we need to normalize the product if necessary, shifting it right and incrementing the exponent. And the fourth is that next thing, once the normalized, within this step we need to check this overflow or underflow. So if there is overflow or underflow, it goes for the exception program or the exception part of the program, and next is or otherwise if it comes to the next step. So what is the next step? We need to round the significant to the appropriate number of bits. So then again we need to check whether it is normalized or not. If it is not normalized, then we need to repeat from step 3, or otherwise we can come to step 5. Set the sign of the product to positive if the signs of the original operands are the same. If they differ, make the sign negative. Okay, so the sixth step is that in the addition algorithm, it comes out of the point. That is, once it checks for the normalization, then it comes out of the algorithm. Whereas in multiplication, we need to set the sign of the product. So we need to make it positive if the signs of the original operands are same. Both the operands are same, then the product will be positive. If they differ, then the product will be negative. And the first step is that there we compare the exponents of the two, and we shifted the lesser exponent to make equal to the larger exponent. Whereas in here the step 1 is that we need to add the biased exponents of the two numbers, subtracting the bias from the sum to get the new biased exponent. Okay, so this is the difference. Actually we are coming to this algorithm when we compare this floating point addition and multiplication. So that's all for now. Thank you for watching. Keep watching.